doing, Vince? Every day of the week?
We're gonna ramp it up.
Ramp it up.
All right, guys, we're back. Mule fabrication. We're gonna be working on the J10 Mule Jeep. This video, we're gonna be building the 4-link rear suspension. Because right now, we just got it floating right here. I don't have it built or anything. It's just up for mock-up purposes. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all the measurements, get this axle set and centered, and with the pinion angle right, we're going to use some scrap metal, we're going to tack it all in place, and then once that's done, then we will get all the 4-link parts here, and we will start fitting up all the 4-link suspension on it. So, that's what we're going to do. Alright, when I like to do these, it doesn't have to be perfect just quite yet, because you just have to get it in the ballpark, and then you'll be able to do all your fine adjustment tuning with the Heim joints in the links to get it exactly how you want on an alignment rack. So, what I do usually, side of the tire, right to the certain body point you want. That's about 7 and an 8. Go check the other side. That side is 6 and 7/8. So this is going to go over 1/8 of an inch. So it's already pretty close. That moves a little bit. So it should be damn near 7 inches. So yeah, I went a little bit too far. I'm going to kick it on the other side. These things are heavy, man. 7 inches, so that is close enough for the side to side. Next, I'm going to be working on the front to back. Get it centered how you want in your wheel well. Alright, so the next step is getting this axle forward and back where you want it. And you got to envision how the 4-link suspension is going to work, because the ride height on this is going to be a little higher. So we're going to want the axle just a little bit further this way in the wheel well, because once it comes up to ride height, the axle is going to move forward just a bit. You could set it up at ride height, but I'm not going to move the jacks around and stuff for that. That's still some final adjustment you can do with the Heim joints in the end. So we're going to get both sides sitting how we want it, and I have found the best way is to use a couple wheel chocks and a tape measure. You pick your spots on the fenders where you're going to stick to as your reference points, and we will go from there. So I am going to use this seam here as a reference point, because the end of the rocker panels there and the fender here come down at different spots, versus this seam is parallel. So just standing back here, just got to go forward just a touch. Just a little bit more. And you know, some of this too is aesthetics. I mean, you can set these wherever you want and how you like them. I like my wheels pretty centered. So yeah, you see how the back is just a little closer than the front, because then once it comes up to ride height, it will be just about centered. So I'm going to take some reference measurements, and then I will go and do the other side. 2.5. 2 inches. That is where we want that, right there. We got a helper in the garage today, working on the Mule Jeep. He's checking to make sure all the air pressure in the tires are good. Alright guys, so we got the axle centered left to right, front to back, and now we got to worry about this pinion angle. And over here at my Atlas right near, I have a flange, and I've been planning on running CV at the flange, and then yoke at the, not yoke at the rear, sorry, and then U-joint at the rear. So with that setup, you want this pinion angle pointing directly at the transfer case output. If you were running a single joint at the transfer case and a single joint here, you would want both those planes parallel. But with a CV joint, you want this almost as straight as possible, pointing directly at the flange where the CV is going to be. And that's all with the geometry of the joints, so you don't get any vibrations. So that's another thing. Get a level to visualize where your drive shaft's going to be and set this accordingly. And this is one of the other things too. You just have to visualize it, and then you will be adjusting the fine tunings of it once the 4-link is built and a drive shaft is in, where you can take better measurements. Rotate this up. Get your trusty jack stand. Don't worry, this ain't no Harbor Freight jack stand. It's an AC Delco. It's not gonna fall off apart on me. So, see how that looks there. It's gonna come down just a little bit. And that looks almost perfect there. So, next step is I'm going to get a tape measure, and we are going to measure off this axle tube to common parts on this truck. Like, you might not be able to see, but like this cross member here. And then double check it to the front end and go back and forth just to make sure it's right where we want it to be. And then we are going to get some scrap metal, and we're going to tack it up in place here, probably on the outside actually, to locate this axle. And then we are going to start building the 4-link setup. I still need to order Heims and some brackets and stuff for that, but money's been a little tight lately, so it might be a week or two before I get that stuff ordered. And on that topic, if anybody wants to advertise on my YouTube channel, if you're a small business or whatnot, I will give you guys a commercial in here to help support the channel. Or if you want to donate, send me a private message. We can go from there. Alright, now we got to drag a welder over here and tack that in place. Alright, so we got some scrap metal cut up. The axle's where it needs to be. I got some scrap right here. We're just going to stitch weld and tack into place, and maybe do another one off the back here just to stabilize it a little bit, just to get this solid, and we can get it off the jack stand sitting on its weight here, and go from there. As you can see, it's not crazy. It's just getting some weld on there so it doesn't shift on you while you're working on it. Why? Welcome to the struggle bus today. Alright, we got some scrap tacked in on both sides, one straight up and down and one leg kicker. So now this axle is mounted solid. Yes, I know the frame is crusty, but it's solid. That'll be all be getting blasted later. But now we are gonna go order some parts. We are gonna order the whole 4-link kit setup for this. So as you can see, this humped cross member here is gonna get in the way of the upper links. We're gonna hit right here. So I'm gonna be cutting this cross member out and building a new one. Looks like it's held in with rivets and welded in there. So this is gonna be fun. Let's cut that sucker out. If we cut enough of this out, palm it out. Look at that. So you can see here, this is boxed from the front all the way back to here where this cross member is. And then this cross member I made for that, listen, the 4L80E. So next I'm going to work on is I'm going to box the rest of this all the way back to here at least. So I have somewhere to mount my links, and it stiffens this up a lot. Let's go. Alright guys, so I cut out some sections of 3/16 to box in this frame. It's a little curved to it, but I'll be able to push it into place. So we're going to put this chunk of 3/16 in. It's about the same thickness as the frame, so that should do just good enough for what we're doing. And then we'll be able to mount our links right up here. Sometimes you gotta put your leg into it. This is what I call a hot tack, right as it cooling down. There, that side's fitted in. That'll be nice and good to mount the upper links to. And it'll give it some more support when we mount the lower links there. Sweet, let's go to the other side. Alright guys, so got both frame rails boxed in. We got it tacked up. They fit really nice. So we'll be able to mount all of our links and stuff on here. All the parts for this 4-link build is going to be showing up next week. So this is all I got for you now, but once those parts show up, we are going to be mounting all the links to the axle, the truss, that whole setup, cycling it out, talking about, you know, the lengths of the 4-link bars and how they affect each other to try to get everything to cycle as it should. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching Mule Fabrications, and peace out, guys.